He really does rise to the occasion, this young man.
He's got right out into the open countryside of the Pyrenees now. This is why they're so much different to the Alpine climbs. They're much more stark, a different sort of beauty here. Alessandro Balin has been joined at the moment by Aitor Perez too. So they're fighting out second and third place on the climb. They too will go over the top. Well clear as we see the move from Andy Schleck. I'm glad our cameras cut back to that one. And it's not Contador yet who's reacted. Now he has. What? It was Vinokourov.
Well, Vinokourov came
what's
straight...
happened? His chain's off. Schleck's chain's off.
Yeah,
well, what's his chain is jammed and Contador's gone. Well, this is terrible. Well, for Schleck. Well, look at this.
Well, this is the big panic now. He's got to get himself back into this race, and this is so unfortunate. This is why you have a big problem when you don't have any teammates alongside you. He's probably lost around about 20 seconds here.
At this moment in time, he could be losing his yellow jersey. What an incredible event this is. Now all the spectators and a little assistance from the neutral service, he's back on his way. That's when it happened. His chain, I don't know, it hasn't snapped, it just came off the wheels.
It just came off at that point there. Alexander Vinokourov came up alongside him. These guys have now seen the possibility of winning the Tour de France. This is when fair play, Phil, has been thrown out of the window. But can this man ride himself back into the yellow jersey? Because this guy has got the form today. He was actually just putting Alberto Contador onto the ropes in a boxing match this afternoon when he had that badly timed mechanical incident.
Well, Contador's, we see the summit here of the Porte de Balès. The champion of France takes this highest climb in the Pyrenees so far. Will get higher as he goes over the top now. He's about to plunge down this mountain. This is the in-fight. Now, Alberto Contador, joined by Sanchez. Gadre is still here. Menchov is still here. But gone is the yellow jersey. Now, this is going to be the chase of his life.
He is going to be very angry right now because he will know they're taking advantage of a mechanical mishap as he rides past everyone there. Rides past Armstrong as if he's standing still. He comes up to Andreas Kloden as if he's standing still. This man now will be a man possessed. He'll ride with anger, and I think he'll ride himself back up to Alberto Contador. Contador's move there, I think, was a move of panic.
Well, Contador doesn't really know what happened there. He was just starting to recover, I think, as the chain came off and he went by him. As Dave in the clean bottle, he is going to be pretty excited himself running up there. But as we now see the yellow jersey applying the tourniquet, kick and kick again. Now we're seeing just how much strength this man, Andy Schleck, really has, and he also descends very well.
Well, I'll tell you what, there he is just in the bottom, Phil. He's probably about 15 seconds down on this leading trio. Denny Menchov is trying to put the nail into the coffin of Andy Schleck. This is the performance of a champion. He didn't panic at all. He stopped to the side of the road. He put his chain back together, and slowly but surely he's riding himself past everyone. Look how fresh he is compared to Rodriguez. He's coming now up to the wheel of Robert Gessing. He will catch these riders, Phil, I'm sure, before the top of the climb. Second and third over the top, that's Perez and Alessandro Balin, but they're looking for 1.5 minutes.
They still have a great chance of staying away to the finish. Contador is almost looking back here to see where he is coming. I don't know whether he's waiting or not, but he's very conscious of the location of Andy Schleck as he tries to sprint clear. Schleck has caught the back wheel of Robert Gessing and he's going to have to recover quickly and keep on going here. Time is running out for that yellow jersey right now. He's up behind Leipheimer.
Well, he won't give up. He's caught them group by group. He's now up to Ryder Heyerdahl and John Gadre. Excuse me, out of the way, guys. I've got to get myself back into this race. Alberto Contador has seen this as a chance to try and win the Tour de France this afternoon.
I know everybody wants the shots, but they're going to have to move those motorbikes out the way right now. He's in amongst this very select group containing Vinokourov again. Ryder Heyerdahl is on the shoulder of Heyerdahl. He is pushing his way through as the flag of New Zealand flies there. Contador is still trying to open the gap, but the risk on the descent now, Paul.
There's going to be risk, but I tell you what, you get behind this man in the yellow jersey this afternoon if you want to, because he has not asked for a help from anybody else in the Tour de France. This is courage at its absolute best.
And what a time to make a descent. You've got to bridge 13 seconds to the two-time winner of the Tour de France.
Well, Andy Schleck now has got to do all of this completely on his own. Look at the way he's using all of that road. Excuse me, Mr. Motorbike, get out of the way because I am going faster than you. I'm going to ride myself back into this race.
There is the tricolour jersey, the champion of France. We're coming slowly off the mountain now as he heads in towards the last 2 kilometres for Thomas Voigtler. There it is, a little look over the shoulder. He's well safe.
Well, he's well safe. He's looking for a minute and a half if he wants to look back down the road to find the Balan group. But he's a real professional. He wanted to make sure there was no last-minute surprises coming. The next banner that he will see will be 1 kilometre to go. And I think there will be a rather jubilant Thomas Voigtler comes into the final kilometre of this race.
Well, everybody fighting for wheels now as they charge off this mountain. Scramble. This is Vinokurov trying to hang on to Andy Schleck. These are desperate moments for Schleck. His team made all of the pace running up the hill. Then it was down to him. He launched the attack. We now know what's happened. Quick look at the computer. 32 seconds. He's behind by a second at the moment in the yellow jersey race. 1 kilometre. We've come home to Luchon, and this is a town which has welcomed the Tour as many as most, and he's got all the time in the world. This has been a remarkable escapade by the champion of France, Thomas Voigtler. Thomas Voigtler comes home now to the cheers of the crowd here, conquering the major mountain. He won in Perpignan in 2009. He now wins here in Luchon this year. He can't believe it's all worked out for him. He doesn't care about the Tour de France overall. He's 69th and he's 77 minutes behind either Contador or Schleck. But he wins the stage, and a champion of France on the day we celebrate 100 years of the Pyrenees has brought it on home.
Well, it's a fitting end for this celebration, Phil, for the French and the French national champion to take the glory on a magnificent day. Here he is into the final 150 metres of the second Pyrenean act.
He pays homage here. Christian Prudhomme in the back there, all smiles, the director of the Tour de France. They've made 4 vicious days here in the Pyrenees to celebrate it. That looks like the Secretary of State there is in charge of sport, Ramayad, looking on from behind and applauding him as she comes home in the leader's car. The battle for second place. The Contador battle, by the way, is hovering at the moment. It is now 35 seconds in favour of Contador for yellow by 4 tonight.
Well, it's going to be very close as they come in. They're pulling the cars out of the stops there at 2 kilometres to go, and that's probably because a little bit further up the road we've still got the Garmin Transitions team pulling out of the way here. This is a battle. This is a real pursuit here as they come into the final few kilometres. And for Andy Schleck, what a day this has been for him.
Well, the computers are now saying it is 40 seconds advantage Contador, which puts him in the lead by 9 seconds. It'll all come real in a moment. Andy Schleck is going to do the time trial of his life here as the former time trial champion of his country. He's going to have to race to the line because quite literally now that jersey is every second counts. He's at 2 kilometres. Alessandro Balan takes second place ahead of Aitor Perez. Oh, does he? We'll see off this bend. He might have gone too early here. On the inside, the former world champion being challenged by a first-time rookie, and Aitor Perez may get this in his first Tour de France. He's gritting his teeth, and I think he did on the line.
That was a big lunge for the line there. That, I think, Phil, will go down to the photo. And we're looking here at the survivors. Here's Johan van Summeren. These guys are now actually going to be sprinting for 4th place on the road because van Summeren has been pulled back in there.
They've gone 1 kilometre to go for them now. Denis Menchov will keep pressure on here. Every second counts for the final victory in Paris. And that's what they're racing for, although 4th place would be very nice. As now we've got here, Contador just grits his teeth and tries to hang on amongst the wheels. He wants the same time. That will do him.
Well, Contador now has got the advantage of having a lot of riders in this group who are very happy to put time between themselves and Andy Schleck, and I think that's because everyone was very fearsome of the performance of Andy Schleck in the mountains, including Alberto Contador in this group.
These riders will come in all the same time here now, and the 2 twins there, Menchov and Sanchez, will remain locked together in the battle for 3rd place, but they're moving clear of the field. Sanchez grits his teeth. Is he going to be allowed now to come home in 4th place? It looks like he might be. Because no, there's a kick by Contador on the right here. Even Contador gets the corner first and comes off the bottom bend. He's going for gold here himself just to prove a point and take the 4th place, but he's not going to get it. It's going to be taken off him on the line. John Gadray will get that as he's chased by Luke Roberts as they come over the line. The time starts now. The 31 seconds is on.
Well, Phil, at the 38, at the 1 kilometre to go point, it was 38 seconds. And depending on how this man can finish it off here, it's going to be very close.
He's chased back really, really well. There's 15, 16 seconds gone. Grit your teeth, because now he's fighting to keep yellow, and I don't think he can do it. 23 seconds has gone now as he races up towards the line. The time has passed. Now the yellow jersey goes to Alberto Contador, and Andy Schleck will have to rethink his tactics now as he comes over the line. He's out of yellow by about 8 or 9 seconds, including a 2011 Trek Madon. There's the stage result. Thomas Voigtler wins, a minute 20 ahead of Balan. Same time for Aitor Perez. Mondry and Luke Roberts there at 2:50. In the same group, Alberto Contador, Samuel Sanchez, Denis Menchov. That was the important timings there for sure, because in the group that came in behind, Andy Schleck in 12th place, losing just enough time to lose his yellow jersey by a handful of seconds. Jürgen van den Broek should keep his 5th place with his 13th place finish today. Robert Gessing, he was tailed off a little bit, and he's finished in 15th place. Well, tomorrow we're going to see Andy Schleck wearing the white jersey, his best young rider instead of yellow, of race leader. Another great day in the mountains for rider Hejerdal as he tries to get a top 10 finish in this year's Tour de France. Leipheimer won't be too pleased with his ride in 17th place there. Let's have a look then at our Michelob Ultra new overall standings now. Alberto Contador goes in yellow tomorrow. 8 seconds Andy Schleck is looking for. Samuel Sanchez is now only at 2 minutes. Denis Menchov at 2:13. Jürgen van den Broek at 3:39, but they all hold their places apart from the reversal at the top. Gessing holds on to 6th. Leipheimer holds on to 7th. Joaquim Rodriguez is 8th. Vinokurov is 9th. Ryder Hejerdal is in the top 10 today after his brilliant riding. Maybe we can show that instant again. This was the attack. And the attack there was coming from Alexander Vinokurov, by the way, who saw him accelerate. He was out of the saddle. Just watch this. Then there's a kick. Then the chain is off. And then all of a sudden Contador was coming, and he may well have reached him, but he was coming very rapidly. You could see him over the shoulder there. He saw it happening, and he goes immediately around and continues. Then he started, and I don't know if we show these pictures, he starts to check over his shoulder to see what happened to the yellow jersey. But he was rapidly joined by Denis Menchov and Samuel Sanchez. This seemed to be a strange problem, because he really wrestled with his bike. The crowd tried to help him. The neutral service mechanic finally did help him, and they got him back into the fray. There's another little view of it. It must have unshipped at the front end of his bike and dropped off the... maybe he was in the wrong chain wheel and the wrong gear and put the angle on the chain just a little bit too much. But what a chase back this was. He absolutely flew up this mountain. Started to eat into the lead of everybody who had left him behind. Let's see if we can analyse it just one more time before we're hoping to have an interview, of course, with Andy Schleck. But he was certainly very upset when he crossed the line. May not want to speak to anybody just now. Starts the way down. He's always been a good descender, and he really had to take risks on this descent to try and narrow the gap. But amazingly, and unfortunately for him, Sanchez and Menchov, two of the best descenders in the world, and they opened the time gap on the way down. That was just after he finished. Didn't want to speak to anybody. Bitterly disappointed, going behind the area for the protocol. Andy Schleck now having to go, of course, because he will have to pull on the white jersey as best young rider. It is bike racing at the end of the day, Paul, and at 20 kilometres out from home, what do you do when the riders in 2nd and 3rd or 3rd and 4th are running away as well?
Well, you've got to decide what you want to do in life and decide how you want to react in a situation like that. It is the heat of the action. It is the heat of the moment. I do feel that Andy Schleck had put in a very violent attack there. And I think as he comes out here, he hasn't lost everything yet from the Tour de France. And he will still be the leader in the best young riders competition and still 2nd overall.
Well, he pulls on the white jersey, looking at the crowd here. He's going to win the hearts, that's for sure. Nobody likes to see a man lose his yellow jersey through no fault directly of his own. And so he gets the white jersey now. He said he's angry in his stomach, and he's going to have a go. And I reckon tomorrow there could be a storm on the Tourmalet, perhaps. Either way, it's assured us of a terrific Tour de France all the way to Paris, and that's what we want. And Andy Schleck, Contador will have to think now, what does he do? What will he say to, and what will Contador say to Schleck, do you think, when he sees him round the back when they pull on these jerseys?
Well, I'm not quite sure that they'll be on talking terms until they've both had a good night's rest underneath them.